Hey everybody, Nick here, and today, well, I got a disassembly and maintenance video for you on this little guy right here. This is the Grimsmo Knives Norseman. So, I have done this video before, as a matter of fact. One of my very first disassembly and maintenance videos that I did, because this wasn't always a thing on the channel. By the way, you'll notice some of my early reviews don't actually have a disassembly video. But anyways, one of my very first ones that I did for the channel was of the Grimsmo Norseman. But anyways, this is the Norseman, and I figured I'd just redo it because, hey, why not, right? One of the things I like a lot about the Norseman is that it comes with a kit, basically. By the knife, but you also get this Pelican case, complete with the sticker there. You get an actual bottle of nano oil, which is kind of nice, as well as a T9 screwdriver. Well, yeah, it's, I guess, driver. But, and they use T9 screws on this whole thing, so all I really need is this one tool here. And it is a fine little tool. You know what? There's no particular problem with it there. Looks like there's some thread locker on there, which is interesting. But, let's go ahead and pull this guy loose here. Yeah, there we go. We're breaking free. The one downside to a tool like this here is that it, oh yeah, there's a fair amount of thread lock on there. All right. Whatever. The one downside to a tool like this is that it's just not as easy to manipulate as a driver with a dedicated sort of thing. Just because, when it comes time to do this, you end up, it's a lot harder to, so you can see I'm moving a little slower. But nonetheless, I figured I'd use the tool just because, it's the one everyone's going to have. If they got this knife, they got the tool, so to speak. Pop that loose. This is a very tight fit here. There we go. Off of their precision, fancy Swiss freaking lathes over there. It's a thing. Anyways, yeah, you can go this route too. Slow it down a little bit. All right, this should be everything we need to take this apart. Now, this knife just came to me from the factory, which makes sense. It is dated November 2019. It is currently December 2019, so this is a recent addition. But nevertheless, this just came from the factory. I probably flipped it about a bazillion times last night. I actually just washed it out a little bit because I used it to cut up an apple. Didn't wash the whole thing out. I just washed the blade off a little bit. You can see a little water in there. Anyways, I'm going to take this guy. I'm going to go a little further here. Although actually all the tools I'm using here are included in the package. But nevertheless, if you're curious about any of the tools I use for this or any other disassembly, nickshabazz.com/tools. But if we look on the inside of this, we can see some cool cosmetic milling. They put the logo there again, the proudly made in Canada, Norseman, November 2019. All of those things, do they matter? No, not remotely. Are they kind of cool? Yeah, they kind of are. So that's nice. We also see a lot of locating holes on this guy, which seem allowing this guy to be milled, and I'm not 100% sure what all those tapped holes are doing in there, but they're certainly, like I said, I imagine it's probably for the machining process, right? Maybe one of the Grimsmo folks, Sky, or somebody can jump in here and say hello. I actually blame Sky. So Sky is an employee of Grimsmo Knives. He's a really great guy, and he's a member of my Patreon. It's unrelated to anything. That's not like admitting a bribe or anything. He's just doing it as a human. But anyways, he regularly posts, pictures from work, and because his work is literally making these knives. So, it's always interesting. And, so watching him on a regular basis, by the way, again, these are Grimsmo Knives bearings. They are making the bearings themselves in-house, which is kind of a cool thing, right? A little bit crazy. All of the parts of this knife, to the best of my knowledge at this point, are being made in-house by them. I mean, of course, they're not forging the steel, making the titanium, but nonetheless, that's pretty cool. But, yeah, anyways, so, seeing Sky posting these pictures and talking about the kinds of stuff they're working on, talking about the improvements, is what kind of convinced me to go a little, to rather than just re-reviewing the one I had, to check out one of the latest ones. The one I had previously was 800 and some odd. This is 3084. So they've made a couple of changes in the intervening 2000 freaking Norseman over here. But, yeah, so we are actually pretty much good to go back together again. So let's start off by putting this guy in place. One thing you'll notice is that this is not a free spinning pivot, because there is it's a keyed hole, basically. This fits in there in a very specific way. So I'll go ahead and drop that into place there. Put that in there. One other thing you'll notice is that there are 2 stop pins in this. That's actually kind of a cool little thing. Is it crucial? No, absolutely not. But it does allow them to have They have a good explanation for why this is at some point in one of their earlier videos, but basically, I gather they found it makes it a little easier for them to do what they need to do with the internal stop pin track here. So I'm going to go ahead and use some 10-weight nano oil. I'm not using the bottle they gave me, but it's same idea, right? 10-weight nano oil. Because it's a fine choice for something like this. Go ahead and put the bearings in there and then rotate, 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 just to make sure I'm getting that oil everywhere, because you know me, Exxon Shabazz over here. This guy did come a little bit on the dry side, and so as I'm doing this, maybe it'll improve the action a little bit. Not that the action was bad in any way, shape, or form. In fact, the only thing I'll say about the action here, and by the way, here is the flattened off detent ball. This is one of the things that the Grimsmos do. I'm trying to think if there's anybody else who does this. I don't think so. We can see here that the detent ball itself is actually flat. It's more of a detent rod at this point in time. And so that leaves a very characteristic action. But anyways, what was I saying? Something fabulous, I'm sure. I don't freaking know. Either way, yeah, so I've, yeah, you can see, oh yeah, that's my complaint about, my only complaint about the action on this guy is actually the detent is a little bit on the stiffer side. This is not something that's a problem in any way, shape, or form, and frankly, that's probably the better approach, but the detent on these are very, very strong, and so as a result, it can be a little bit overbearing on the finger, and I'm just putting this on the other side here, and then I'm going to put a little drop of lubrication right here into the detent hole. That will allow it to spread along the detent ball path down this way and potentially smooth things out even further. But anyways, there's that. Oh, actually, one other thing I did want to show off real quick. Check this out. This little action right here, this is a detent ball ramp. It helps to get this detent ball back up onto the blade of the knife. Whereas the previous generation Norsemans would actually kind of get stuck on the lock bar there, you know, as you're closing them. Having that detent ball ramp is a nice idea. It's a good thing. So, I'll put that there. I am over-lubricating this a little bit, but Exxon Shabazz, you would expect no less. I just hit the camera with my Batman mask. Again, this is not a sentence I ever figured I would utter in adulthood, but, you know, sometimes the world doesn't go, life doesn't go as you expect it to, you know? All right, so I'm going to go ahead and make sure that I have both bearings in here. Do I have both bearings in this knife as I'm putting it back together? Yes, I appear to. That's nice. All right, good. And I'll go ahead and put this guy back into place, because that's the last one that came out. And there we go. Go ahead and put this onto here. I do sort of wish that the pivot screw Torx was a little bit deeper. You kind of saw me slip out of there. So, oh, I should actually have Loctited these. That's a good idea here. Just a second here. I don't figure I need it, but they're good screws, but I figure better safe than sorry, right? Although I suspect I could probably get new screws. Shipping from Canada is always a bit of a pain. Alrighty, so there's that. I do very much appreciate, though, that they are willing to provide the tools to do the disassembly. I mean, for $900, you should be providing me all that, and it should be, you know, hand-freaking delivered by Christina Hendricks. But nevertheless, or the equivalent person you would appreciate having to deliver one of your knives. Anyways, I digress. But nonetheless, I appreciate that they're willing to give you the disassembly tools here, because that's just a really nice encouragement that this is a tool. This is something that you can use and you can clean and you can maintain, and if there's any trouble with it, you can get it right back to where it was just by doing these simple steps to get it apart and put back together. That's a beautiful thing to me. I really do appreciate and enjoy that. Am I going the wrong direction? I think I am. Come on, Loctite. There we go. Beautiful. All right. And then I'll just drop this into place here. And then slowly tighten. You don't want to over-tighten on your first go here. You just want everything locked down. Okay. So the Norseman is not one of the knives out there that is designed to run, you know, at full tightness, etc. I mean, the thing that you should be doing with this guy is actually sort of modulating the pivot tension such that you get, you know, as free in action as you can without any kind of blade play. Whoa there, that's freaking sharp. That just took a little bit of... That's one thing that is a big, big improvement relative to the... Woohoo! That's sharp. Relative to the other Norseman I've had, this guy came crazy freaking sharp. Very, very impressive edge. I think that's all Eric, but holy crap, Eric. You have grown in your craft, so to speak. Not a mirror edge, not like a fancy edge particularly, but a very exceptionally sharp one. Okay, yeah, there's slightest bit of blade play, so I need to tighten it up just a little bit more here. That's, yeah. This knife is one of those, you know, a lot of people, ooh, that's smooth. Yeah, a little bit of lubrication actually smoothed that out a lot. The tent is still very strong. Very, very hard to tent on this guy. But this was actually smoothed out markedly by including a little bit of lubrication. Oh, boy. That's freaking... That's drop shotty. But yeah, this knife is, it's borderline dangerous with this really free-swinging fall shotty action and that kind of smoothness. That's serious business right there. But anyways, we are all set here. That is how you disassemble and maintain your Grimsmo Norseman there. Hopefully this is a better version of the video I filmed way back when, because hopefully I'm a little better at this. Maybe not a lot, but at least a little. And mostly, though, I hope that you have yourselves just an absolutely wonderful rest of your day. Bye now.